Hey, I'm back with more fairy stuff. So, you're working with a fairy, and something that you are definitely going to want to have in order is some sense of your boundaries. Doesn't matter what your fairy relationship is, doesn't matter what your human relationships are. You have to have boundaries. You have to. If you're not having boundaries, you're doing it wrong. You're doing yourself wrong. You're doing yourself a disservice. So, you can't really engage in a healthy relationship of any kind unless you have clear, safe boundaries for yourself. Having, no boundaries with somebody, even if you love them, especially if you love them, it's not a sign of love. It's not a sign of trust to not have boundaries. It's a sign of you don't know who you are, you don't know how to stand up for yourself, you're not going to be able to stand up for anybody else, you're kind of impermeable and able to be pushed around in all kinds of different directions, and that's definitely not good. And if you're going to be working with fairy of any kind, if you're going to be working with deity of any kind, if they're not telling you that you need to have boundaries, or if they're not encouraging you to have a clear sense of self, that is a red flag. You are not working with something that is healthy. Run away. If, however, you are working with a fairy or a deity or anything like that, and you set healthy boundaries, and those boundaries are being respected, that is a good sign. That's a sign of a relationship that is healthier. That is something that you can work with. You can renegotiate. They can renegotiate if things aren't working well for either one of you. Boundaries are incredibly important. So, if you're somebody who struggles with confrontation or with saying no, practice. Practice. Because if you're going to be working with a being as powerful as one of the She, for example, one of the Dinamai, they can be pretty intimidating. And you have to be able to stand your ground and say, yeah, you look really big and scary, and I understand that you're powerful, but I can't do this, and I'm not going to do this. And that personal power is what's going to enable you to be safe. It's also what's going to enable you to be effective in your work with them for whatever purpose you're working with them. Maybe it's a personal thing for you. Maybe they've singled you out for something. For me, I'm kind of a ambassador, for lack of a better word. I'm a bridge between worlds. So having that sense of who I am and those boundaries is incredibly important. So something to work on and think about if you're going to be doing this work.